Hello everyone, my name is Arun and welcome to my channel. In this video we'll have a short preview and sneak peek into the Linux distribution named KDE NEON. Now KDE NEON is actually a Linux distribution or distro derived from Ubuntu, and it uses the KDE desktop as its interface. Now unlike the other distributions that use KDE desktop, this one has a very good synchronizability and integration with KDE desktop, so this works pretty well and seamlessly. So this actually comes from the KDE desktop and environment community or the developers. So it's called as KDE NEON. The name it goes by the name KDE NEON. Now this is the web page for the distribution. So if you want to know more in detail, you can come here and have a look and read this through. And the KDE NEON is available in 4 versions. The user edition, which I have installed in my Linux system, in my virtual box, and there's a user LTS version. So if you want a stable version to which you want to work with the features are getting updated every once in a while, you pick this one. This should be good for the normal user. And if you're having a system on which the system has to be stable for quite a long time, so that updates only come just once in a while or occasionally, then pick an LTS version. If you're on the developer side and you want to get the latest programs, latest bleeding edge software, and which can have bugs, and you want to have the facility to fix them up or something like that, you can pick up the developer edition, which comes in an unstable branching images and as well as the stable branching images. Okay, for most normal users who just want to work with it, you can pick either the user edition or the LTS edition. Now, coming to this distribution in particular, one of the things you might notice is that this is actually a pretty smooth distribution. In the sense that it uses Ubuntu under the hood, Ubuntu core features under the hood, and it has a very good desktop environment. KDE is actually known to be one of the very elegant and customizable desktop environments. Now, if I look at it if I just open this up, you will, other than this artistic wallpaper, this desktop itself is empty, and that's because it is defined like that. Just note to the people who want to use it, KDE desktop is not actually recommended for beginners. Okay, if you're like a Linux distribution user, if you're a Linux user and you already had some experience with a little bit of experience with going around and tweaking up the settings of your Linux operating system, and now you're like, okay, I can set up the settings as per my choice and something, and you're in that kind of a scenario, then KDE will be good. And on the other hand, if you're like a beginner who's not that confident enough to go and set up and tweak the appearance and themes, then it may be a little hard for you to work with. That's actually one of the one of the choices you have to keep in mind while working with KDE. Other desktops, you can just work with them and you can tweak them easily, whereas this one you can tweak it, not a problem, but it may be a little hard for beginners to start with. So this desktop over here is actually in the power screen mode, wherein you don't have the folders showing up by default. Okay, this they call it as a desktop view mode, wherein here in this screen, since it's empty, you can place all your widgets. Like for instance, I can click and add widgets over here, and in this widgets I can keep an analog clock or an activity page or an activity bar or application dashboard or battery settings or a simple calculator widget. If I can keep any of these over here, and to make this as beautiful as I want it. Okay, and then you have this option over here. If you just click this option over here, you might refresh once in a while. Okay, and you click this option over here, you have this option to show your desktop, and here there is this configure desktop option. Click that, and then in the layout you can change the layout to the folder view, and you click apply. You'll refresh, and then you will have the folder view options over here, which will show all the folders in your desktop. Fine, and that's how the basic settings are. And now what you can do is this will always flicker a bit. Okay, because it's closed down. Now it's okay. Now if you want, you can just click this configure desktop option and then go back to desktop view, and all your folder icons will be invisible. Nevertheless, you'll be able to access them. So you can switch between these two views. Now, second thing is, let's look at the software install. To be honest, this distribution is quite light, and when I mean by light, I mean it literally, because there's hardly anything installed by default. You just have some basic ones, like in the development, you just have some translation packages in the document browser and interface designer, all of them for Qt based applications. And for graphics, we have a Gwen view, which is actually an image viewer, and a document viewer, namely Ocular. For internet, you have Firefox, being the default web browser. For multimedia, you have VLC Media Player. And then for Office, you have just a document viewer, namely Ocular. And other than that, for settings, you have system settings icon. System settings software. We'll have a look at that in a moment. And then systems, we have a file manager, which is Dolphin, software center called as Discover, a system monitor, a terminal application, an info center, and a wallet management tool. And for utilities, you have two text editors, one namely KWrite, other one is Vim, and a screenshot capture utility named Spectacle, and one archiving tool program called as Arc. And that is about it. That is all you have installed by default. So if you want to go in detail and look at all of the software that are installed, just go and click this software center. And the software center, they have attached with this operating system, KDE Neon, is actually Discover. This Discover is pretty good, and it'll just tell you all the here it does tell you all the software that have been installed. So if you look at it, it's not a big list as you might think it is. Most of them are just small ones. You can just actually count them up. Most of them, if you look at it, more than their application, they are just widgets that you can place it up. Okay, so this operating system is, to be honest, pretty light, in the sense the number of the software installed is pretty light. And you have the update features over here. And if you click this up, it will list on all the software that you might have to install and update. There are like 170 updates for now. This will take a quite long time, so I'm not going to update in front of you. So I'm just saying you have the option to update as well. Other than that, since this is actually based on a Linux kernel, Ubuntu based operating system, you have the option to install Ubuntu softwares in it, and it'll work pretty well. And let's look at the Dolphin file manager. Now, the file manager that comes for the file browser that comes for KDE Neon is actually Dolphin, and I like this because this is very good. This is actually very good in a sense, like unlike the other ones that you might see over here. This is quite pretty well developed. For instance, in the preview option over here, I can make these icons pretty big or small. I have the option to make this view appear in icon mode, or a compact list mode, or in a detailed list mode like this. Okay, I have an option to have my paths over here. Like I can go to this let's see, settings. I can go to the settings. I can tell it to show the menu bar or toolbar if I want, and then I can go to view, and I can have the preview option built in if you want. And then let's see, the view mode, we just saw the view mode, and of course you have the option to sort these folders and files based on name, size, date, type, rating, tag, comment. And in documents, you also can sort them out by word count or line count or something like that. These are some of the features that are actually present in Windows, and I managed to bring this in Dolphin. That's pretty good. And you also have additional information kept in. And as for panels, you have the option to bring places. This is actually the places panel. This is actually the branch panel, if I understand right. Let's see where it is. Oh yeah, this is actually the folders. This is actually the folders panel, and you have the information panel over here, and also you have the option to go for a terminal over here. So the thing is, if I just go inside any folder, automatically the terminal will update to that particular folder, which is kind of neat. And I also have the option to open this in a separate tab. and the tabs are actually appear over here. Instead of splitting the window into two or three places, it will appear as tabs like this. This is okay. It's actually and then when I switch between the tabs, automatically the path in this attached terminal also shifts between them. That's neat. And also what I have is I have an option to split this view into two or more panels like this, so that I can independently travel between them. And then if I can move and I can copy paste folder contents from one thing to other. And whenever I move to a particular file or a folder, automatically the terminal also changes the path. This is pretty neat. Okay. Some of these features are actually implemented in other file managers, but all of this combined, other than Dolphin, I haven't seen any other distro have this. This is actually pretty good. And as far as the main motive behind looking for KDE NEON is actually the Qt based applications. KDE NEON and the KDE desktop environment has a very good integration with Qt based software. So if you have any software that is based on Qt or build based on Qt, they will work very seamlessly over here. Except for one or two things. So the GTK software will work all right. Okay, but Qt based softwares will work pretty well. For instance, let's open kwrite. So the basic text editor you have to open files and folders is actually kwrite. And if I look at it and I look at about KDE, okay, let's see about kwrite. It's actually it's actually developed from Kate, and then it's actually based on a Qt environment, Qt based software. And this is actually your editor. You have to change the files and folders, edit files, text files. And let's look at the main option here. The main reason why people would prefer KDE NEON or KDE desktops: the settings configuration and the theming option. See, you have and if you look at the appearance over here, by default you have two kinds of looks and feels. You have the Breeze theme and the Breeze Dark theme. The Breeze theme is actually the lighter one, and if I click to Breeze Dark and I click apply, the entire theme becomes darker, and this also looks pretty good. Okay, and whichever one you like, you can keep it accordingly. And then if I go to let's see, and also let's go to this one. And also if I go to get new looks, I'll be connecting to the internet. Okay, this will automatically connect to the internet to the KDE desktop repositories, and I'll pick up some new let's say, how do I put it, new themes and look new themes. Okay, and I can have once this loads properly, you have a preview of how the theme will look like, and you can install them. And once you install them, close this up and open this up again, you have these options available, and you can pick whatever one you like. You have a theme for an KDE based theme, a Breeze theme, and etc. theme, and several other themes. And you can also search for any particular theme category you want, and that's it. You just install, and afterwards you close this up and then open it up again. The theme will appear, and then you can go and select it as per your choice. And then as far as the desktop theme is concerned, you have several themes, like the simple air theme, a Breeze Dark theme, a Breeze Light theme, a default Breeze theme, and an Oxygen theme. Let me pick Oxygen theme, and I pick Oxygen theme, and I click apply. And if you look at it, the theme actually implemented. And if you look at that, and then this panel at the bottom, if you look at it now, it's pretty transparent. Neat. Just a reminder, if you were to use themes like this will consume quite a lot of graphics, so be wary of that. And if you look at the custom in a cursor theme, by default I have a Breeze and a Breeze Snow theme. Okay, I guess for white, will this look better for white? Yeah, on a dark theme, white cursor looks better. And anyway, you can install any number of themes you want, and also you have the option to change the splash screen. That is, once you log in and waiting for the entire system to boot, you can have the theme to have the login. I have this Breeze thing appearing by default. I can go and switch this on. Next thing is And if I go to the colors, I can go and change the colors position as per my choice. Like there are like several color options available. Like this is breeze dark. If I go to default, my window options will look like this, and if I go to breeze dark, it will look like this. This is just a sample application, sample view of how a push button, window text and selection text will look like. And this is honeycomb, this is Norway, obsidian coast, oxygen, cold, oxygen, wonton soup, Xeon revised. Anyway, you can get a lot of coloring themes as well, and you can edit your own. You can improve. These are like default themes, and you can install themes by manually, and you can just have to search them, and you can just edit the themes as per your choice. Coloring themes, discard changes. I don't want to do anything. And the fonts, yes, of course, I can go and change the font settings over here, and font management over here, where I can add new fonts or set new fonts and do something about it, and you can remove. This is quite simple when compared to other distributions. Here adding fonts is a bit easier. Of course, you have a theme for changing the icons as well, and how the icons should appear and all. When you bloat them up, or when you increase in size or decrease in size, you can do that as well. And you also have the emoticons options that you can use while writing text or messages. Well, although I would say that's not that of a major requirement. And you can also have the option to change the workspace settings, desktop settings, like having the zoom option, looking glass option, magnifier option. And I'm just giving you a overall view, so that I'm just letting you know what and all is present. You can just go and play with it as per your like. You can just go and customize this to as much as you like, and you can also decide what can happen if I push any of the programs to the screen edges. And that I can also set the activation delay, reactivation delay, the screen locking features, changing the wallpaper, virtual desktop, like creating how many virtual desktops I need, and how do I switch from one to other. And the shortcuts, there are plenty in number. You can just go and set them up. And let's see, of course there is a Windows management telling how the windows would look like, the focusing, movement and all. I can go and set them up. There's a task switcher option too, how to switch between the task and windows. And if you want some default scripts to run by when you start that up, you can tell that. And you can also set any Windows behavior if you want. And there is this quite an exhaustive list of shortcuts available by default. You can just keep these shortcuts as it is, or you can go and customize these shortcuts, because the main idea behind KDE Desktop is actually user specified customization. And you can also have a standard global shortcuts as well, web shortcuts and custom shortcuts. These are like some non-standard shortcuts that you as a user you like to create. And you have an option to decide what should be the breeze login screen, auto start options should look like, and all background services to be switched on and switched off. And the desktop sessions, you can go and do all the settings over here, and search options also there. And one of the other things here is, let's say you want to search for something within this, like you want to zoom the screen. Automatically, when you type it, you'll just get a closest keyword that may surround it, and all the icons will be grayed out except the icon which will correspond to that. And if you click that, you will get an option to decide. If you just go in detail, you have an idea where the zooming option is like that. Likewise, if you have any other topic, any other particular search keyword, you just type it over here. Automatically, the settings here will just point you to the particular place where you can do this up. And okay, sorry, not this one. I'll close this. And as far as the let's see, as far as the terminal goes by, I can actually let's see, I can open a terminal. Let's see, can I open a terminal over here? It should be possible. Anyway, if I just type terminal, the terminal option here is console. Why am I keep typing that? Anyway, closing that. And if I look at this free, look at the amount of memory used. As of now, it's only 519 megabytes of memory under use. That is quite light, and I think it just shooted up because we ran so much processes. And this desktop is quite light, and considering the fact that it gives so much of customization and widgets running in the background and all, this is quite neat. And if I look at the kernel, uname -a and all the details, this is actually derived from an Ubuntu kernel. So this is actually based on Ubuntu 16.04.1, and they use this kernel 4.8 series as of now. If you upgrade this, I think you might get a newer kernel, and that's it. Other than that, you have the option to show some updates. If there are any updates, it will point out over here, and all of this, like this panel over here, this panel over here, this menu bar over here, you can actually customize them to as you want. For instance, I can just set this panel options. I can add panels and add widgets if I want, and then I can also set alternatives like this whisker menu or start menu. Application launcher, I can put this as an application dashboard and an application menu. So if I click this to application dashboard and I press Windows key over here, it will give me a window search like this, wherein if I type something, okay, automatically the application will pop up, and also this will give me a folder search option if I want, and all the applications will be categorized and split as per the names. This will list me all the applications in alphabetical order. It will just show me all the applications as per the basic groupings. Okay, and I also have this option to shut down, log off, reboot, and the favorite application, that I use regularly, will pop up over here. Cool. And other than that, you also have the option to go and change these settings and customize them as per your choice. Okay, what just happened? Oh, okay, it's trying to edit something. Okay, I don't want that. Show desktop. Okay, I think I just screwed up a bit. I think I have to go and check what's happened over here. Anyway, that being said, this is what I have for this distribution review. This is quite a nice distribution to look at. The only downside I face is that sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes this entire you might get a few bugs. It might become a little glitchy and buggy once in a while, but if you know how to use it, you'll be perfectly fine to analyze and set it as per your choice. That's all I have for you all in this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.